About a year ago, I said something along the lines of this.
I think this car is better than any air-cooled car.
And after that episode, didn't see the 911 again. Some horrendous damage to cylinder number 6, and here we are. On this episode, I'm tearing apart my 996. I got 3 weeks to get it ready to go to Air Water in California with a 3.8 liter that I bought for 800 bucks. I don't know if I can make it, I truly don't. I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me they can tune the car, and I still have to put the engine together with the cylinder heads. There's a whole lot going on. I'm gonna change up the look a little bit. We got some partners coming on board for the build, which is pretty cool. There's a whole lot of shit going on. Let's get into it.
About this time last year, I was getting ready to take the car to Air Water in California. I was going on the Overcrest Road to Air Water rally. I was super stoked. Didn't have a lot to do on the car, just had to once over the suspension, do some basic maintenance, oil change, check battery, charging, everything, and hit the road. My inspection started with checking out wheel bearings, checking out the suspension arms as I had 997 GT3 arms in the front and rear. Noticed a little bit of play on one of the Heim joints, which I eventually had replaced. And I just started ticking stuff off the list, making calls, getting some parts together, nothing too serious. I was having a great week. Everything was going super simply and just smooth. I fiddled with the fog lights a little bit. I re-and-read some of the mounts and some of the wiring that had gotten a little bit damaged through some of the adventures that I've been on. When it was time to do the oil change, I wanted to do a thorough inspection and make sure that everything was looking good in the oil. And I was pleasantly unsurprised to find that there was a good amount of glitter in the oil filter, in the drain pan, and in the pleats of the oil filter once I cut it open. I decided the best next step was to bore scope the motor. Something that I had sort of put off for a little while, probably avoided because I didn't want to discover the inevitable. These particular shots are of me bore scoping the rest of the cylinders as I started on the passenger side with number 6 and found the culprit of the smoke immediately.
Alright, well that cylinder wall is completely scored. That's the first one I looked at. I'm not even going to bother with the rest because that's so bad that 3.6 is probably fried, so time for that to come out, I guess.
I found a solution, but I need to use my cylinder heads and my cams and everything, so I can't run this thing to California and back. I don't want to destroy it any further. You can run these cars with bore scoring. Some people run them forever. And you know, the worst thing that happens is they just make some noise and tick and burn oil. To be fair, I do beat on this car quite a bit. I abuse it in a sense that other people will not drive it the same way that I do. Time to say goodbye to the 996 for a little bit.
This was the hard part about putting the car away for a year, is it still started up fine, with a little bit of a tick, you know, burned some oil. It honestly had probably been scored for quite a while. Seeing it and seeing the extent of the cylinder damage, I immediately wanted to save the cylinder heads and the cams from having any more metal go through the engine. Fast forward to this year, I had the car in storage along with a new case, an M97 case from a 2004 997 Targa. It's essentially the same case as an M96 3.6 liter that is in this car. This has a forged bottom end and iron sleeves, and an LN Engineering IMS Guardian, new rear mains. This motor was rebuilt. Something was wrong with the timing, and it was swapped for a stock motor. A friend had it in storage and was keeping it for his own project and offered it to me for the insane price of $800. Of course, I said yes. I know some of you guys are probably foaming at the mouth to see the process of pulling the engine out. I personally am not. I have an entire series on this very task from my trip to Airwater and Luft in 2023. Head back and check out those videos if you want to see a more detailed process of dropping this thing out. I'm going to kind of glaze over it in this video because I want to get to the part about tearing down the M96.
Well, the keen-eyed viewer may notice that there's some parts possibly missing off the car. I am just taking off the AC compressor, which I accidentally pulled one of the lines earlier and evacuated half of it anyway, but I'm about to drop the motor out. Got going down here about 10 o'clock. It's now just about 1, and so I beat my old record, which last time was all day. Probably because I was consuming beverages and hanging out with my buddies, but no, I've been slamming on this all morning. I got pretty much everything disconnected and unbolted. I broke off 2 subframe brace bolts, which kind of sucks. I got to drill those out of the aluminum subframe, and hopefully I can tap new ones in. But I've just got this one last bolt on this here compressor that I'm working on. Which seems to be fighting me a little bit. Once this compressor is loose, I'm going to hook up the engine crane to the main faceplate or cradle where the engine mounts sit, and then just going to drop the motor down with a jack on the transmission, bring the whole thing down. I am taking out the transmission as well because it's easier to get the trans back on the motor and put the whole thing back in the car that way. It's a pain in the dick to wiggle this thing off, get the pilot bushing lined up and all that shit when the transaxle is still in the car. So I'm just gonna take the whole drivetrain out, and then I can double check everything, service everything, and check the clutch because I've had a little bit of a squeaky clutch that I'm gonna investigate a little bit of. So yeah, not too bad, about 3.5 hours so far, and it's about to drop out, so pretty stoked. I'm gonna finish this last little fiddly bit, and we're gonna drop this heap of scored number 6 to the ground. Ugh. You guys should see the paint on Felony. I did not do a good job. I should not be trusted with a couple cans of Tremclad. Anyway, back in it today. This here M96 behind me has to come apart today. I'm gonna start by taking off all the fuel injector rails and the fuel lines, all the evap stuff and accessories. I got a bin behind the engine there that I'm gonna put it all in, label all the bolts and everything, take a picture of it as well so that I know what the layout looks like, although I've had this thing apart already and I kind of know where everything goes, so I should be all right. Just basically I gotta get all the accessories stripped off, and then I gotta start unbolting the cylinder heads so I can see what those look like, and that'll involve taking the valve covers off, taking the cams and everything out, and finding a spot where I can safely store all that. Take it all apart. That's the goal for the end of today, is to get this thing all apart and disassembled to the point where it's just the case with the crank and the pistons and the cylinder heads are separated. So I'm gonna get going on it. I got a few things to clean up over on the bench over there, so I have some room, and then I'm gonna dive right into this.
Tearing down the M96 is where I started to be a little bit out of my element. I hadn't gone as far as pulling off all the accessories and fuel system and all that the last time I had the engine out of the car. I simply worked with the things that I needed to replace, like the oil cooler O-rings and some of the wires that were corroded and some of the connectors. This time I would be stripping it all the way down, of course, because the cylinder heads have to come off. Started pulling everything I could, the evap system, the oil pipe, vacuum canister, all the wiring, the injector rails, the lower plenums, everything had to come off. I had a hell of a time with the power steering pump because I didn't realize there was actually an opening to fit a socket in to unbolt the entire cage that holds the pump and the tensioner to the block. Positioning the flat six was made a little bit weird by the engine stand having this awkward interference with the ear and the upright. So it's time to start pulling the cylinder head. Basically, you got to start at the valve cover and begin working your way down. Saving all the bolts. These are technically a bolt that you're supposed to replace and not reuse, but they have like, I think 36 foot-pounds of torque on them. They're not a lot. Honestly, it's not going to leak. So I'm going to reuse them. Not really supposed to, but is what it is. I don't want to spend $200 on valve cover bolts. Folks, this is what you want to see when you pull a valve cover off. Absolutely beautiful, shiny silver material. No baked in carbon or oil or anything like that. Regular oil change intervals will keep the inside of your motor spotless. Yes, this thing's been apart before, but hasn't been hot tanked, none of that stuff. This thing is immaculate and it has 216,000 kilometers on it. I got down to getting the cam gears off and the timing chain tensioners all loose. It's time to pull the cams and get down to the lifter cage. It is very imperative that you do not change the location of the lifters when you pull the cage off. So you have to take them out and have them in sequence the exact same spot that they went back. You can't mix these up at all. Of course, the exhaust and the intake lifters are a little bit different. The intake side does have a little pin on them, so they are keyed. The exhaust side are just a free floating rotating one, but again, you have to make sure that they go back on the exact same valve they came off of. I pulled the pins on the front of the case, got the guides out, moved the chain out of the way so that I could start loosening off the cylinder head. And with that, it was time to move on to the passenger side cylinder head. This side is where number 6 resides, and that is where the major bore scoring was witnessed in this engine. Had to get a little bit crafty with this tensioner. I don't have an Allen socket or an Allen key big enough, so I had to use a 14mm bolt backwards. I actually found the tool that I used for the BMW clutch, which was the same size, and ended up using that to get the thing cracked loose.
Woo! It was in there fierce.
I actually got ahead of myself and forgot that the oil cooler hides the pins holding the chain guides in, so I had to pull that off first before continuing to pull the timing chain and the cam gears and the top end of the motor. Finally, after a full lap around the sun, it was time to see the damage to cylinder 6.
I can feel that, like, rad, holy crap. That is some serious damage.
With the M96 apart, the real work begins. It's time to put a 3.8 back in this thing and make it better than ever.
So that is pretty much gonna do it for this episode. Everything's pretty well torn down on the car. I actually have to de-sticker the thing. I have a new design coming up that I'm really excited to try out. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. My buddy RJ is gonna be joining me on the trip to Air Water. I have a lot riding on this, and like I said, I have 3 weeks to get this all done. So if you are a tuner or know somebody that's a tuner that can help me tune the stock DME for the new 3.8 displacement with all OEM shit, aside from a custom exhaust that I have to do as well, I got a lot of work to do. Please hit me up. I would love to work with you. And of course I will pay you. I'm not gonna try and use that influencer bullshit to say you should do it for free. We don't work for exposure here. All right guys, I have to get out of here, finish this episode. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing on the road, getting it running with the new power plant, and not really having to worry about bore scoring with steel sleeves. So, my name is Andrew, this is Ridiculous. As always, please be kind, drive hard, and score some cylinders. Probably not the line. See you on the road. Have a good one.